Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another video. So today I have a 2018 Audi A4 in the Prestige trim, and we're gonna do a whole in-depth review of it, overview, so we go over all the features, the exterior, interior, engine specs, all that kind of stuff. So before we get into it, if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and click that little bell icon so you get notifications of new videos that I post. So now that we covered that, let's get into the car. You have quite a few options when it comes to the A4 lineup. Pricing varies to start from about $36,000 for a premium front-wheel drive model. You can also get that with all-wheel drive, which brings it up to about $40,000. Looking at the Premium Plus, that starts at about $39,000. All-wheel drive models for that Premium Plus package are $43,700. And if you go up to the Prestige model, which this one is, the starting price on that with a front-wheel drive is about $45,000. If you want to have the Quattro model, it's going to start at $50,000. So just a couple things to note. This is the most expensive trim package for the A4 line here in the United States. And this car is actually equipped with the Black Optics Plus package, the Sport package, and then a 19-inch Black Optic Plus wheel package. So the Prestige package does come with full LED headlights. So you can see that it's got these nice LED bars here. You have this one that goes across the top and then down, then you have this little one here. And then you also have the LED light itself. In addition to the full LED headlights, it also comes with LED tail lights. And these do have the sequential turn signals in it as well. And here you can see the turn signals on the front of the headlight housings. And this car is equipped with the adaptive cruise control. You can only get that on the Prestige model, so you can see here are the sensors for that system. A lot of people think that these are fog lights, which they kind of look like it, but those are the actual sensors for the adaptive cruise control. So the Prestige models are also equipped with, I guess like a top view camera system. So you will see that this car is covered with cameras. There's one here on the front. You can see it right underneath of the badges. If I walk around the car, these are a little harder to see, but you'll see if you look underneath of the mirror, you can see that little camera there. So that gives you the side view. And then when we walk around to the back, obviously you're gonna have your rear trunk camera as well. So you can see that up in there. So like I said before, this car is equipped with the Black Optics package. So what that gets you is the black trim around the front grille, the single frame grille, and it also gets you the black trim around the doors. And then also you'll see that around the back here, that this is also blacked out. On the regular packages, this is like a silver color. And then this car is also equipped with the Black Optics wheel package. So it's basically these wheels that you've probably seen before in the past. They have been around for quite a few years now. I think they look great on this car, especially on the black. This is an $800, I guess, option for this car. And then you'll also see it is equipped with the red brake calipers. Another thing to note is that this car actually has real exhaust tips. So a lot of the manufacturers are moving to these fake exhaust tips. I'm not a huge fan of what they're doing with that. So I am really happy to see that the A4, the 2018s are equipped with actual exhaust tips. So you will notice that this A4 is a little bit lower than your typical A4. That's because it's included in the Sport package, which lowers the extra suspension by about 23 millimeters. So this car is equipped with a lip spoiler on it. It's very subtle, so it doesn't really stand out too much. It's just enough to add that little bit of sportiness to the car. So the brakes on the all-wheel drive model come with 13.3-inch ventilated discs in the front, and then you get 13-inch ventilated discs in the rear. If you're looking at the front-wheel drive models, the front brakes on those are a little bit smaller. They have a 12.4-inch ventilated disc in the front, and then the rear brakes are 11.8 inches, which are solid discs. All right, so let's take a look at the engine in this thing. This is a Quattro model. So the Quattro models do have a little bit more horsepower to them and some more torque. So you can actually get the A4s in two different, I guess, engine packages. So the front wheel drive models actually come with 190 horsepower and 236 foot-pounds of torque. Now that's good for 0 to 60 time in 7.1 seconds with a top speed of 130 miles per hour. In the all-wheel drive models, you get 252 horsepower with 273 foot-pounds of torque. That's good for a 0 to 60 time in about 5.6 seconds. And they also have a top speed of 130 miles per hour. One of the really interesting things about the A4 model is you can actually still get these with a manual transmission in them. I know that's kind of rare these days, but it's really good to see that Audi's keeping that option available. With the Quattro models, you do get a 7-speed S-tronic gearbox. So when you're looking at fuel economy on the Quattro models, you will get about 24 miles to the gallon in the city and about 31 miles to the gallon on the highway. All right, so that's everything for the exterior. Let's jump inside and see what else it's got. All right, so here we are in the A4 with the Prestige trim package. Like I said before, it does have the Sport package also in it, so it does come with the Sport seats, and they are actually stitched in this express red trim, and it looks really nice. The seats are a little more bolstered than your typical A4 seats, you know, because it is a little bit more sporty, so they do hug you pretty well. I'm a pretty skinny guy, but you know, these do hold me pretty well to the seat. Another nice thing about the interior of this car is it is trimmed with the piano black trim, and I believe that is part of the black optics package on the interior. And it's very nice looking, but I do worry about it getting fingerprints, and then you know, when you go to actually, I guess, like clean it off with like a microfiber towel or something like that, I would kind of expect that to kind of get some scratches in it, so I'd be really careful with this piano black trim. All right, so let's talk about the features that you get in the Prestige trim package now. So it does come equipped with the virtual cockpit. I'm sure a lot of you have seen that feature now. It is pretty common. I believe all like the Jettas and stuff like that might be an optional of those, or I believe it is an optional in those. It does come with an 8.3-inch MMI screen. It's a huge screen, but it does not fold or hide or anything like that, so it's kind of like a tablet just kind of placed on the dash. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I'm okay with it. This does also have auto start stop feature in it, so basically to save fuel and improve fuel economy, it is equipped with that. Now, it is also equipped with the adaptive cruise control with traffic jam assist. So basically, if you're sitting in traffic on the highway, you can set the adaptive cruise control for your set speed, and it will basically drive itself. It'll accelerate and brake if there's any kind of vehicles or anything like that. And then once it's below a certain speed, the traffic jam assist will kick in. It'll keep you within your lanes, and it'll basically, you know, accelerate from a stop for you. Now, you do have to have your hands on the steering wheel. I guess it's kind of like a safety feature kind of thing. Another really nice feature is the flat bottom steering wheel that it comes with. So I drive a S3 as my daily driver, and it actually has the same exact steering wheel as this car here. And I absolutely love the steering wheel. It is really nice. It's comfortable, nice grip to it. Feels like a really high quality leather steering wheel. And then this one also does have that red stitching on it, and it looks really great against the black. A couple of things to note: there are soft touched materials all over this car. It's actually really hard to find anything that's like hard plastic. There is a couple things up here on the dash, right next to the MMI screen, that's a hard plastic. Obviously the piano black trim is also hard plastic, but like everywhere else, it's all soft trim. Now, one of the things about this, I guess, armrest here is that is a leatherette, so it's not true leather. I'm not sure why Audi did that. It might be kind of like a durability kind of thing, since you put your arm on it all the time. They decided to put something a little more durable on there than regular leather. So a really cool feature in the Prestige trim package is the Ambient LED advanced lighting package, and what that does is it actually has trim underneath of these little door pieces here and up here on this, I guess like the door handle area for LED lighting, and you can actually change the color pattern. So you can go from, say, like a red to a blue to an orange, yellow, purple, basically any color that you can come up with, you can change that. So that's also lighting for the footwells, the doors, and then up here in that trim area, as well as the cup holders. You can change the color of those. So that's pretty cool, but that's only included in the Prestige trim package here in the United States. And in order to get that, you're spending an extra, say, $10,000 to upgrade from the base model A4. So is it really worth spending that kind of money to get the ambient lighting? I'm not really sure it's worth all that kind of money for that. So this car is also equipped with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So there are two USB ports. There's one up here underneath the Hvac controls, and there's also one here in the glove box, so you can hook your phone into it and it'll bring it up on the MMI screen. So how does this thing drive? Now, compared to my S3, which has the magnetic ride suspension on it, I will say that this ride is very comfortable, and it is equipped with the 19-inch wheels, so you kind of would have expected it to be a little rough. It's also lowered a little bit by that 23 millimeters, so I expected it to be kind of bumpy. And I'm really pleasantly surprised that it's not. It's a very comfortable ride. It's a lot quieter than my S3. I don't get a lot of that road noise or wind noise, so this feels like a premium car compared to what I'm driving. I'm really surprised that the S3 doesn't feel as premium as this car does. This feels like a luxury car to me, and I'm pretty impressed with it. Now, when it comes to acceleration and horsepower, you know, this is the all-wheel drive model, so it does have the 252 horsepower. It's upgraded from the base A4 that's a front-wheel drive, so it does have more power. I think it's got 278 foot-pounds of torque. So from a dead stop, I mean, this thing pulls pretty well. I mean, I know it's just an A4. It's not supposed to be a sporty model or anything like that, but I will say that I'm pretty impressed with the power that it's got, and I'm pretty happy with it. Okay, so we're at a dead stop here. We'll get on it a little bit. So we'll floor it. Not sure if you guys can hear it. It sounds pretty decent. It's got some power to it. And like I said before, it does have a 0-60 time of 5.7 seconds. So it's really not that bad for a car that's this big. Obviously, it's not a sports car, but it'll get you up to speed in traffic if you need to. So this Prestige model is equipped with the virtual cockpit. It also has the 8.3-inch MMI screen, which is actually a really large screen. I'm not a huge fan of how it looks just like a tablet's kind of thrown up on the dash. It doesn't retract or hide away or anything like that. But the size of the screen is amazing. It looks great. You know, if we go in here and we look at like the navigation and stuff like that, you see you get a really nice view. Of course, that's not a really nice view, but if we zoom out here, you can kind of see it's a really nice screen to look at. Like I said before, it does have the piano black trim in here. It's not gonna be easy to keep clean. You can kind of see that over here. And then I worry about it getting scratches and stuff like that, because piano black is notorious for getting easily scratched. Now, another thing about the interior is in the new B9 A4s, they have switched over to this new shifter knob. So this is really interesting because you no longer move the shifter into, say, like park or drive or anything like that. Park is actually on this button right here. So it takes a lot of getting used to. Basically, if you want to put the car in park, you don't move the lever at all. You just push this button. And usually I always put the parking brake on as well. The MMI is up here. You have some presets, which are actually touch sensitive. So you can kind of see as I scroll across the top, you can kind of see I'm not actually pushing the buttons. I'm just overlaying my finger on it and it moves it across there. It doesn't actually register anything until you actually push down on it. It does have the touchpad on it. So when you start typing letters for navigation, you can do that on top of this as well. Now, as for the HVAC controls, you do have 3-zone climate control. So you have your driver, your passenger, and then also the rear seats. Now, something interesting about these buttons is that they are also touch sensitive. So you can see as I put my button, or put my finger on top of them, I'm not actually pushing these buttons, but you can kind of see it changes like the setting or the view with the screen on this. So if I want to move this up, then I would push it down, push it back on auto here. And you can set these separately. And if you wanted to put them on to sync, you'll move it up here and then it automatically synced them back together. Now, below the HVAC, you also have your drive select. So you can push down on this button and it'll change the screen. You can see the different modes here. You have comfort, auto, dynamic, and individual. Like I said before, under individual mode, you can change your engine transmission, steering, and then the adaptive cruise control. Now, the next button on here is going to be the auto start stop. So right now I have it disabled because if I was parked right now, the car would probably turn itself off to conserve fuel. This is going to be your traction control. You can turn that off as well. This is all of your parking sensors. So you kind of see what that does. It brings up the different camera views. So like I said in the exterior portion of this video, there's many different views for this. So you can see right now we are looking at the corner view from the front. So it's kind of giving you a full picture of the front of the car. If I move this over one more and click just the forward, it's just a straight on view from the front. There is that camera underneath the Audi rings out front, and it's just a straight view. Now this is where it gets kind of interesting. You have a top-down view, and as you can see, I'm not parked within lines at all. I'm actually parked across all of them. So what this is doing is actually using a combination of all the cameras. You have a camera up here, you have cameras on your mirrors, and you also have a camera back here on the trunk. So it combines all those to create this picture around the vehicle. You have your standard rear camera, and then you also have the corner view, so it kind of gives you a wide angle view of the back sides of the vehicle. So let's talk about some of the specs of the interior of the car. So if you start talking about like a headroom and stuff like that, the headroom in the front is 38.9 inches. And if you look at myself here, let's see if we can do this. So you can see I have plenty of room. I'm 6 feet tall and I probably have a good, 2 to 3 inches from top of my head to the actual roof of the car. Now in the back, the actual headroom is 37.4 inches. Legroom up front, 41.3 inches. So there's plenty of room up there. And then in the back, you're gonna have 35.7 inches of legroom. So I did a little bit of a comparison between this car, when it comes to like the legroom and the headroom against my S3. And I was really surprised that the specs are actually really close to the same. So if you look at it like headroom, the S3 I believe was like 36.9 inches or 36.5, something like that. And this one's 38.9. So you're getting an additional, 2.5 inches of headroom, which is nice. That's a lot for up front. But when it comes to the actual legroom, that's where I was really surprised. So up front, in the A4, you have 41.3 inches of legroom. In the S3, which is my daily driver, you have 41.2 inches. So this car is a lot bigger, but when it comes to legroom, they're pretty much the same. So I thought that was kind of strange. I will say that I feel like there's more width in the legroom area than the S3. You seem a lot more compacted into the, I guess, the footwells themselves. So I will say that I do feel like there's a lot more width in the legroom within this car. So this car is equipped with a sunroof. Open this up, it's very bright, and it does tilt, so we can tilt it up, and then it also slides back as well. So that is a really nice feature. I will say that the sunroof on this seems to be smaller than in my S3, but it is still a nice size. It does also come equipped with Homelink, so you can hook it up to your garage doors. And then basically it does have an LED lighting interior package, so you can see that these are LED lights, which is really nice. Turn those off, and they are touch sensitive, so if I just tap it, see the light comes on, tap it and turns it off. Your visors, see the LED light comes on as you slide it open, so that's really nice. And here you can see the back seat. Now these do fold down, and you do have the 60/40, and then also the rear centerpiece also comes down, just like that. So I guess that's a, what's that, a 40-40-20? So now let's look at legroom. If I try to sit back here, you can kind of see that my knees are almost into the back of the seat. So I have the seat up front set for a 6 foot tall person. I'm 6 feet sitting in the back, and it's actually not that bad. Now, as for the headroom back here, I know you do have a little bit less. You can see all this up here is with where the sunroof is, so it comes down a little bit. But back here, my head kind of fits up in there, and I have maybe an inch up there, not a whole lot of room. Here we can see we do have LED lights up here as well. And you do have your own Hvac controls back here, so you can turn it up and down as well. And then the trunk in this car is a pretty good size. It's 13 cubic feet. You can see you can kind of fit quite a few, I guess, suitcases in there. I'd say, I don't know, 3 maybe. It is a little bit bigger than my S3. The S3's is about 10 cubic feet, and it's tiny. I do not like the trunk in that car. I cannot fit a whole lot of luggage in there. That's one of the problems with it. So you do get a little more space with this one. So final thoughts. I think this is a really great car. There's a lot of high quality features to it. You get there's a lot of technology in this vehicle. Sometimes it's actually kind of overwhelming. You really have to focus on what you're doing because there's just so much going on. I really do like the ambient lighting that's in the car. I will say that I would not spend $10,000 to upgrade to the Prestige package just to get that. I don't really think it's worth that kind of money. I'll probably wait a year, and you'll probably see that Audi pushes that down to like the Premium Plus and the Premium models. Ride quality is fantastic. It does not have the magnetic ride suspension, which is fine to me. It's very comfortable. Even on these 19-inch wheels, it was great. When it comes to power, I think this car has plenty of power for just the A4 line. I was actually pleasantly surprised where you know, when I hit the gas, it actually goes. So you won't have any issues merging into traffic or anything like that. So as an overall package, I feel like Audi hit a home run with this car. It is a little expensive for just being an A4 line, but you know, obviously if you're going with the prestige trim, you're going to pay a lot more for that. But when it comes to the comfort, the power of the car, all the technology that you're getting for it, I think it's a great vehicle. Audi did a great job with this. If I had the choice of maybe trading my S3 in on an A4, this is going to be really controversial. I might actually consider doing something like that. Would I spend the $55,000 to get this car brand new? Probably not. I would probably wait a year. I was looking on cars.com just to see what the pricing looks like on a used A4 in the prestige trim, and they're about $40,000 to $45,000. So I probably would not go out there and buy a brand new one because you're taking such a huge hit on depreciation. But if you wait a year, I think you're getting a whole lot of value for the money. So what do you guys think? Drop a comment down below and let me know what you think about the prestige trim. Would you spend the $55,000 to upgrade to this level? Do you think it's worth all that money? So I hope you guys like this video. Be sure to hit that like button. If you have any comments or questions, drop them down below. I always go through there and answer all your questions. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and also hit that little bell icon so you get notifications when I post new videos. As always, don't forget to reflect and never settle.